Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? In the back? We're good in the back? Oh, look at all the waves. Good afternoon. We are here to mourn the passing of a force of nature that my cousins and I called Grandma. And we are here to mark the end of a generation and an era that was embodied so fully in Ada Bruce Hole. But given how she lived it, we are also here to celebrate one truly kick-ass life. Are we not? There you go. So my name is Ben. I'm one of Ada's grandchildren. If you don't know who Ben is, that's totally fine. I can tell you 2 reasons why you should know me. The first is my mom was Nancy Hole, later Nancy Charland. Yeah. See, already we're in the celebration field. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, then Grandma knew something and decided something a long time ago. I'm also the mayor of Grandview Beach. So, you know Grandview Beach, Pigeon Lake, right? So if anyone has any problems at Pigeon Lake, your plumbing's not working, something like that, well, I can't help you, but I am the mayor. So it's interesting, actually, Pigeon Lake. Grandma spent over 60 years going to what we call the lake. Back in the late 1950s, our old cabin was built. We now have 2 there, and the old cabin was built there at the same time that this cabin that we're in now was constructed also at Pigeon Lake. The logs were hewn there, this cabin was constructed, and then it was disassembled, brought here to Scona Hill, and rebuilt here in 1959. So it's quite fitting. Now, we had 2 options for this service. One was the Pioneers cabin, right? The other, because of course it had to mean something to Grandma, was the Kapalua Golf Course in Maui. Right? You see the decision that we had to make? Right? So this we found was, less fun, but more inclusive. So fun. That's what we're going to try a little bit to do today. There's been a lot of tears shed over the last few weeks, obviously. I think that's obvious for those who knew Grandma. But there's also been a lot of laughter, a lot of joy as we have celebrated her life. And that's what we hope to do here today, a mixture of the 2 things. I think it behooves us to remind ourselves that something that Maury Schwartz once said, which is that death ends a life, not a relationship. What is your relationship to Grandma, and how does that move on now that she no longer does? I think that's a question that we can ask today, which is a question that, of course, is sad, but it's also one of fun and joy and laughter. So if we can have a little bit of that today, I think we've succeeded. So I'm going to bring up, after me, 3 generations of my family who represent our family and what we want to say about Grandma, about Ada, about Mom, about Gigi, right? We're going to have the children, the grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren say a few words, sing a song, and read a poem. There's a few people who can't be here today, notably my cousins Kelly and Martha. If everyone looks at your program, the front of the program is something that was drawn by my cousin Kelly, and the back of it was drawn by my cousin Martha, and she wrote out this poem called Trees by Joyce Kilmer. Now, my cousin Lillian is going to come up in a moment to read this poem out loud, but I want to tell you why this is significant for Grandma. This is a poem that talks about faith, right? That talks about God and a belief in God. Now, about 15, 20 years ago, Grandma and I, we like to have a few arguments once in a while, and we debated religion. And we were at Pigeon Lake. I remember it vividly. We were at Pigeon Lake debating the existence of God, or at least the need for religion, right? And she said all kinds of arguments to me, and I would argue back. But finally, she quoted this poem from memory to me. And I have to say, on that day, and to this day still, I don't really have a comeback for that. It's actually quite an interesting and convincing argument. And in the end, you'll see in the program later, she actually got the last word and wins the argument because I have to lead us all through the Lord's Prayer. So, one more thing about that. 7 days ago, as Grandma was lying in bed and about to go to sleep forever, she could still quote this poem from memory. 7 days ago, or was it 8? Anyways, I'd like to invite my cousin Lilianne to come and read the poem.
This poem is called Trees. I think I should never see a poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the sweet earth's flowing breasts, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And now, Xana and Jeff will be coming up.
Okay. Oh, for heaven's sake. We're tickled pink for you all to be here, celebrating the life of our grandma. My name is Jeff. This is Alexandra. And with the help from Scott, Rachel, and Isaac, and a little bit of Ben, we represent each of Grandma's 6 children. We are truly honored to share with you some of our memories, what she meant to us, and the legacy she left. As you know, Grandma was married to Pa for 58 years, and what a legacy they left us and the city of Edmonton. While Pa was very much into being a part of and helping out the Edmonton community, Grandma taught us to be proud of where you are from. She was a great Edmontonian, and she taught us what that truly meant. From her support of Fort Edmonton, the Citadel Theatre, Camp Beat It, and of course, her beloved Edmonton Eskimos, to name a few, Grandma was very passionate to support things which were truly Edmonton. She was so influential in her upbringing that my cousin Ben would quote at a very early age, "No go Calgary, go Edmonton." And if you ever had the privilege of traveling with Grandma, as people would undoubtedly ask, "Where are you from?" she would answer, "Edmonton." There was no song and dance about where that was. If you didn't know, that was your problem. This passion of being an Edmontonian would also translate well with the competitiveness she instilled in all of us. My cousin Scott told me the other day of when he brought one of his friends from Calgary to our cabin at Pigeon Lake. The Eskimo game was on, and Scott's friends started to cheer against the Eskimos. Now, Grandma didn't mind if you cheered for your respective team, but if you started to cheer against her Eskimos, watch out. After hearing Scott's buddy chirp the Eskimos, she politely reminded him that he didn't, in fact, have to stay there anymore. You can only imagine how quiet he was after that. From playing bridge with family and friends, her staunch support for the Eskimos, or playing golf at Mayfair, of which I truly believe she still is the best putter at that course. Grandma was a fierce competitor, and a competitiveness is undoubtedly a quality that she has passed down to many members of our family.
Grandma taught us the importance of family. Family was her purpose. She grew up with 3 sisters who were all redheads that loved to sing and dance. A story she would tell often is when Daddy would instruct whoever's house they were at to roll up the rug, the girls are going to dance. Redheads on parade, yeah, redheads on parade, yeah. The song and dance tradition passed on to the generations in our family. Whatever function or celebration it may be, there will always be a song prepared. Then there was her never-ending birthday book. Grandma was always the first to call on your special day. She never missed the high school graduations, convocations, and Emily's entrance to the bar. She always made everyone feel special. Isaac chose to move from Vancouver to Edmonton to be closer to a wonderful person like her. She would host exclusive Tuesday dinners for him and his other male cousins. On occasion, my sister Nancy Ann was invited, and then I made the list. We were more than happy to attend. Grandma was the life of the party. We had her 90th birthday party at the saloon in Fort Edmonton, and to this day, that party is still talked about in my family. Grandma could throw one heck of a party. What other grandma do you know who would do tequila shots on their 90th birthday? You could hear her laugh from anywhere in the room. She was powerfully charismatic. If you were near her at a party, you knew you had it good. This included the epic family trips to Mexico, Maui, Canmore, and the 2011 Christmas cruise. Pa was the GM and Grandma was the coach. We were their team, even to the point where we all got numbers on our shirts. Because of Grandma and Pa, I was able to grow up with my cousins, spending many summers together out at Pigeon Lake, knowing the roles of who eats first, the boys, who cooked and cleaned, the girls. But some of us did get brand new Lululemon sweatshirts, and some of us didn't have to tidy up at the lake. I'll let you decide who got what. Regardless, there was always a big line to hug my grandma hello and goodbye. The cabin had an open door policy. Whoever you were welcomed. And inside the cabin was the smell of her famous spare ribs, pilaf, and the never-ending poo-poo parties. Grandma was a great cook. She once made my cousin Ralph a pan of maple walnut fudge when he was in grade 3. He couldn't stop eating it, which resulted in a cavity. What us grandchildren learn the most from our grandma is to always live life to the fullest. She loved to hear what we were up to, and whatever we set our minds to, she was always our biggest cheerleader and protector. In her amazing 98 years, there isn't anyone who would say she didn't live a full 98 years. Live your life the way you want to live it, because she did. We know Grandma is watching over us all today. Making a fuss about her, she would be saying, "Oh, stop it!" I'd now like to invite my Auntie Judy up.
Mine is a musical tribute because that's what Mom always did. She would come up with a song for any celebration, birthday, anniversary, reunion, farewell. But one thing that was so central to Mom's character was her strength. She lived through a lot of adversity as a mother, but she always stayed the course. She was both the life of the party and a pillar of strength. Everyone counted on her for both of those things. The tune is Goodnight Irene, and it's been used a few times over the years to bid farewell to Charlie Shore, who moved to Toronto and left Grandview Beach, to Ed Overall, when he retired and sold the Crystal Springs store, and to Harry and Darlene, when they were married and left Edmonton. It's time to retire this song for good. So please join in on the chorus. The waves at the lake, they are moaning. No more will they beat on the shore. For Ada has left us forever. She won't be around anymore. Ada will miss your voice, your laugh, your smile that beams. You brought such joy to all of us. We'll see you in our dreams. Now Ada, she had her 3 sisters, the closest of friends they would be. As redheads they'd sing and they'd tap dance. The Bruce clan, a great family. Oh, Ada, we'll miss your voice, your laugh, your smile that beams. You brought such joy to all of us. We'll see you in our dreams. Then Ralph Hole came into the picture, and siblings are tripled at best. Such closeness with all of her in-laws, and wonderful friends she was blessed. Oh, Ada, we'll miss your voice, your laugh, your smile that beams. You brought such joy to all of us. We'll see you in our dreams. 4 girls and 2 boys in a decade. Lake summers were part of the plan. The numbers soon grew by the dozen. Her grandkids, she was a huge fan. Oh, Ada, we'll miss your voice, your laugh, your smile that beams. You brought such joy to all of us. We'll see you in our dreams. She's always the life of the party, great golfer and wonderful cook. An Eskimo fan to the finish. Now we close her grand birthday book. Oh, Ada, we'll miss your voice, your laugh, your smile that beams. You brought such joy to all of us. We'll see you in our dreams. Nice. So I had the honor and challenge of making a photo slideshow for Grandma's celebration of life. I put a message out to all of my extended family, asking for a few of their faves, and ended up with over 600 pictures. So here's a tiny sample of my faves that I thought really represented Grandma and her life.
In twilight glow I see her, blue eyes crying in the rain. When we kissed goodbye and parted, I knew we'd never meet again. Love is like a dying ember, and only memories remain. And through the ages I'll remember blue eyes crying in the rain. Someday when we meet up yonder, we'll stroll hand in hand again in a land that knows no parting. Blue eyes crying in the rain.
You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, you never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. The world still is the same, you never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, well, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love.
Please stand for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, for we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please. Oh, and please don't lead us into temptation either. I should have just stepped away from the microphone. Grandma wins. Please remain standing for Danny Boy. I'm going to close this celebration with a request. I'd like each of you to think of one special thing about Grandma. For me, it's chocolate chip cookies with double the chocolate chips. Does anyone remember her chocolate chip cookies? That was her thing. So as a boy, my favorite thing to do with Grandma, probably my favorite thing to do, was to help her make chocolate chip cookies. Actually, now that I say that, that's not true. My favorite thing to do was to eat the chocolate chip cookies. Second favorite was to help her make them. Grandma told me that the secret to her cookies that made them so delicious was that she would double the amount of chocolate chips. And I think that this actually paints a bigger picture, because it's not just about the cookies. It was having dinner with double the love and laughter. It was a hug at her front door with double the squeeze on your hand or the shoulder. It was the mother of my mother with her strength and resolution and determination, a double serving of fortitude. It was a whole, wonderful, fully lived life with double the verve and joy of the one who lived it. What is your singular, personal, peculiar thing about Ada, Mom, Grandma, Gigi, whatever you might have called her? Maybe there's other names that we should bring up. You can share it or you can treasure it. You can change it a dozen times, because for Pete's sake, there could not possibly be just one. But whatever it is, remember that one thing and keep it with you, because this, in us, is how Grandma lives on. I promise, whatever your one thing is, you'll get double the reward. I want to thank you all for coming today to share in this celebration with us. Please enjoy some refreshments when we finish, some drinks, and because there are far too many stories and anecdotes and facets of Grandma to share, I'd like to invite you to come up and take the mic for a few minutes, but don't go on for too long. Because if you do, I think you're going to hear a familiar voice in the background saying something along the lines of, "Good night." So please be careful. Thank you again, and that concludes the formal part of the service. Please enjoy the rest of today. Thank you.